everybody. I'm Dr. Cindy, your host of the Positively Altered podcast. I am a chiropractic internist and nutritionist, and on this show, we love to discuss everything health related, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, and today, even humor related. It's interesting because there's lots of statistics out there that talk about how laughter and humor can actually create a longer life and a more joyful and productive life. So today we are going to feed into that. You are going to meet an amazing guest who sits in the comedy space and also the keynote space. And quite frankly, is just a wonderful human being. I met him through a speaking organization. We connected, and with similar goals, I just knew he had to be a guest on the show. So sit tight. We're going to take a listen to a couple important sponsors, and then we are going to be back with my next guest, who is going to talk about bringing humor into your life.
Hello, my name is Heather Lord, and I am the COO of Professional Health Products. Cutting corners is an all too common practice in the dietary supplement industry. When my father founded Professional Health Products, he sourced the cleanest, most biologically active ingredients from around the globe. Today, that commitment remains, which is why the finest healthcare practitioners, like Dr. Cindy, have trusted us for more than 40 years. We oversee the entire process in our manufacturing facility, from sourcing and formulation to manufacturing and labeling. Today, we offer over 300 unique products that can be tailored to the nutritional and homeopathic needs of each individual. Most recently, we launched a proprietary genetic test, allowing our practitioners to get even more dialed in to their patients' health. To learn more about Professional Health Products, please talk to your practitioner or visit our website at phpltd.com.
Today, your life is going to be altered. I'm Dr. Cindy.
Welcome to Infinity. We have worked hard to create an electronic claims website that is simple and user-friendly. This is the public side. You can log into your personal web portal here. This is your dashboard. You can personalize it to your liking here. Our main focus has been to allow you to submit and edit claims as easy as possible. You will find our claims editor and claims processing is simple to use and straightforward. Our quick action bar is where you can find your most important information. Most of these icons will take you directly to the claims the number represents. You can easily view if you have any messages in your inbox of any unread alerts by looking for these blue numbers. To view the rest of our training videos to get the most of your Infinity experience, click this icon. We hope you find this web portal simple and easy to use. Thanks for letting us serve you.
I'm Dr. Cindy. Who wouldn't want to join me for the Positively Altered podcast? Welcome back to the Positively Altered podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cindy, and my special guest today is Rob Polonsky, and I'm so thrilled. He grew up in an area I grew up in, although he defected. He went west, and there's a reason he went west. We're going to find out a little bit about that today. But Rob, comedian, mentalist, and keynote speaker, which is how we're really on this podcast together as we sit in the same space. Welcome to the Positively Altered podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm so thrilled. Why'd you defect to LA?
You make it sound so negative. You know, I had a suitcase and a dream. And that sounds so cheesy. And I went to school in Chicago for TV writing and producing, and I got an internship in LA to do my last semester here. And I came here and I never went back. So okay. I hope you don't take it personally. I'm so sorry.
No. And I didn't mean it negatively. Listen, I love Chicago, but I'm trying to get out too. So it's okay. We all got to find that spot. But I'm going to just jump right in then and let everybody know that this is a really important podcast, because we're going to be able to one day say, oh, I heard him talking about comedy, and now I'm watching him on, ready? Saturday Night Live, right?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that's a goal? Wouldn't that be amazing?
That's definitely a dream. I mean, anything where we can kind of live our passions and get paid for it is the ultimate dream. But man, I grew up watching SNL. I'm in the Groundlings program out here in Los Angeles, which is essentially, a very famous improv and sketch comedy school that is like one of the breeding grounds for SNL. So definitely, it's something that I'm passionate and excited about.
Oh my gosh, there was just, and by the time this airs, it'll be a couple months out, but there was just a shakeup, I think, at SNL because, right, a bunch of people were, I don't know if they were let go or they chose to leave. And of course, there's all this drama that you hear, and who knows if it's true. So here's the deal. If anybody listening knows Lauren Michaels, you have to tag on the podcast episode. Because Rob, although here's the problem, you're going to have to like send me the highlights because I go to bed now before it airs.
That's the beauty of YouTube, right? I feel like a lot of the audience aren't really tuning in live anymore. They're watching the clips on YouTube. So I will send you those.
Okay, I'm going to take them because, I go to bed before SNL starts now. It's not like
Me too.
Yeah, so I can't watch it live, but I will watch it and repeat. I promise. I will. Okay. In the meantime, I have a burning question, right? Because there's something I don't understand about what you do. That term mentalist. When I think of being mental, I have my own definition. I have my own definition of being mental, and I'm pretty sure that my audience will agree that I fit that role. But being a mentalist is something very different. Explain to us what is that exactly?
So you can ask different mentalists and they'll probably give you different answers. I like to say mentalism is a form of magic. I focus on the art of mind reading. So really tapping into someone's thoughts, their behavior. But the way I don't like to say like I'm a mentalist. I just see it as another form, another way to connect with people. I love connecting with people, whether it be through humor, through music, through mind reading. So that's kind of how I see it. It's a form within being a magician who just focuses more on the art of mind reading.
And you really can read people's minds?
Yes.
What am I thinking?
You're thinking this podcast is going so well. Rob is so funny, and I just don't want this to end.
Well, you're so close. You're so close because you're so close. You are. That was actually pretty good. I'm also thinking, I'm going to tell you what I'm actually thinking because my inner self, I'm going to let you in on a little dirty secret I have.
Oh my gosh. 2 minutes in. Let's go.
You know that burning question of like, if you could be anything in the world, what would you actually pick to be?
Mm-hmm.
I secretly wanted, I want to be a comedian.
What are we doing? Pack up your bags. Let's go.
Yeah, but I can't. Oh, can we do it in New York and not LA?
Why?
I don't know. I don't like LA.
That's a different conversation.
It's a totally different conversation, and I don't want to insult anybody. But
thank you for sharing that. Like stand-up comedy, or
yes, but so here's my challenge. So I've got to tap, and this is now going to be not about our listeners. This is totally about me and how I'm going to channel my comedic talents. Right. I am so bad. I want to know how you do this. I'm so bad at the memorized delivery, right? Like when I do my keynote presentations and there's something weird that happens in an audience, or I say something that's out of my plans, I'm really good at feeding off of that and then being funny. But to like deliver a joke, zero talent. Like that's a gift that you have to be able to memorize and stand up and do that.
It's interesting, right? And someone who has a lot of anxiety, spends a lot of time on stage, just seems so counterintuitive, but you kind of learn little tricks as you get more and more reps. I think it's all about reps. But in terms of memorization, yeah, I freak out all the time. Like, oh my God, what if I have a panic attack or I get anxious on stage and I forget everything? What has really helped for me for being an anxious person is giving myself little like physical moments. So like in my script, every time I maybe switch hands on my microphone or lean in, I try and do that every time in the same place of my script. So that way I have a physical memorization tactic that I can associate with that part of where I am in the script, if that makes sense. So just having little things that I can bake in for myself help me, just even if I get off track, I know just from muscle memory, it kind of just comes back to me.
That's awesome.
If that helps.
It does. And actually you bring up something really important then is the anxiety that a lot of us have in performance. And it's not just performance because you stand on stage and tell jokes. It's performance in life, right? Like I think we're always performing on some level. So anxiety is a big factor, I think, for a lot of us. And unfortunately, there's a negative connotation to that word, but you do something really unique. You lean into your anxiety to use it in a good way. Talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit, because I think it's really important that we tend to run down the victim, the negative, that mentality of bad words, instead of going, this is a gift. And
Mhm.
how do we utilize that gift of anxiety for the positive and a good outcome?
Yeah, I love how you said it like that. And I think part of it is acceptance, right? I've accepted that anxiety will always be with me. It's not going to go away. You spent years fighting it, just makes it worse. You spend years getting scared of it, it makes it worse. So how do we take that and say, all right, it's here. Here's my toolkit of things that I can use to kind of work with it, to embrace it, to reclaim it, to reframe it. Um, and I think to me that was an exciting challenge. I, as a comedy performer and as someone who has been involved in comedy since I was a kid, it's always been how I connected with people. It's how I communicated. It's how I took steps to get out of my comfort zone. But I didn't realize I didn't realize what role humor was really playing in my life. I thought it was just a way to make people laugh or to entertain people. But really what it was doing is it was giving me these tools that I kind of wish I knew I had, especially when I was working in the corporate world. Um, so yeah, it's how do we listen? I have an anxiety puppet, right? Because that's how I like to visualize my anxiety as this character, right? It's also something I use in my talk as a puppet who can read minds as well. So it's finding. There's a whole bunch of tools. So there's finding ways to kind of reframe anxiety in a positive way and say, here's this feeling I'm having. Here are the ways that I can navigate it.
So who's better at reading minds, the puppet or you?
The anxiety puppet for sure.
What's the anxiety puppet's name?
Honestly, anxiety puppet.
Oh,
Really original. Yep. I just call him anxiety. I know.
anxiety,
You'd
but it
think I'd be more of
works.
a creative person, but
No, you know what? I think that name is perfect. All right. I want to give me an example. And I know my favorite one that I saw, but give me an example of an activity you did to overcome your anxiety that most people probably would not have done.
honestly, so there's two that come to mind. One, so I lived in Orlando for a little bit for one of the latest jobs that I had, my corporate jobs. And while I was there, alligators were a big part of the culture. In fact, I was told, Rob, don't move to Orlando. There are alligators everywhere. And I moved to Orlando and I don't see an alligator. So I was like, I'm going to go find an alligator and I'm going to wrestle it. I want to learn how to wrestle an alligator because that way, if I ever see an alligator or get attacked by one, I know what to do. So that was one. I went to a place called Alligator Land. No, that's not it at all. I can't remember the alligator place,
Is it
but
Gator World? Is it
the
Gator World?
Gator World or Gatorland.
Okay.
And I learned how to wrestle an alligator. That was terrifying. The one that scared me more than I thought it would was becoming like a NASCAR race car driver. Because it's one of those ideas that sounds fun in theory, going really fast on a racetrack. Like, okay. But once I was in that car, learning that it's manual and not automatic, it's like, I don't know how to do that. And you're kind of alone in this race car going, 160, 80 miles per hour was pretty scary.
Well, at least the organization that allowed you to do that left you in the car alone. I've actually done that in Vegas with a young man in the car with me. And I thought, what a dumb thing to do with strangers is put yourself in a vehicle with another stranger who doesn't know how to drive a car fast and hope you
Yeah.
don't die.
Yeah. That does not sound like a great idea.
No. And I think that organization in Vegas is still in business. So clearly, death is not a huge problem in that organization, but still one that was on my mind.
They have a
Certainly.
great insurance policy.
Right? Absolutely. I got to tell you, I don't think I would ever walk into Gatorland because my philosophy with alligators, you ready? And I know there's people out here who are going to send nasty letters after I say this, but they make excellent cowboy boots.
Oh,
Is that wrong? That's
I don't
wrong.
know. I don't know what the whole philosophy is on alligators and people feeling. I don't know. I don't want to get into that, but do people really love alligators? They're like, oh, I can't wait to like cuddle and think they're cute. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not looking to purposely murder one for the sake of boots, but should
Yeah.
they pass?
Hey, I'm just glad that you have boots that make you happy.
Yeah. Oh, you have no idea, Rob, the addiction of boots that I have. Boots lower my anxiety level
There you
tremendously.
go. That's
There's
your
no doubt
tool.
about it. No doubt about it. Okay, so you go out into the public, you gave up this corporate space, but you're back in corporate space, really teaching people how to do things better. And the topic is really about showing up with laughter, right? As
Yeah.
part of your keynote. What does that really mean? So I'm a guest in your audience, and I don't think I'm funny, right? I'm one of those guests that don't have that technique. What does it mean to show up to the world with laughter?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Is fear, anxiety, self-doubt, they hold even the brightest person back, the brightest, most creative person back. I'm sure we've all felt it in some circumstances where, we're scared to say the wrong thing. We're scared to speak up in a meeting because we're fear of being judged. Maybe we have social anxiety. We feel like we don't belong. We feel disconnected from our team. So all those things kind of create like a fog around us where we're not really fully showing up for ourselves, for our team, for others. So show up with laughter is all about using humor as a tool to do that. And when I say humor, I don't mean you're going to learn how to be funny. You're going to learn how to write jokes. No, we're using humor to find the most authentic parts of ourselves for it to kind of emerge from that fog so we can show up, right? So we can navigate the anxieties, the fears, the imposter syndromes using humor as a tool. Because I really believe when we laugh together, we thrive together.
So there's lots of statistics out there, right? That we actually live longer when we laugh. We
Mm-hmm.
can manage stress better when we laugh, right? All of those things. Where do you think the block is for some people to not allow themselves to go down that path?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think the block is people feeling like they need to be funny or they're not a funny person. There's so many times I hear, "Oh, I don't have a funny bone in my body." So they kind of block that out, right? It's like I think humor is just a way to entertain and to laugh, or in the workplace, maybe leaders feel like humor is a distraction, right?
Mm.
It's like we don't want to bring that into our meetings. We need to focus. So I think there is like a stigma also around humor, right? As it's a tool to entertain. But I think what happens is, listen, in our talks, we're doing like improv based exercises. I've been doing improv my whole life, not my whole life. That's a lie. For a long time. And I can't tell you enough, like improv isn't just for comedians or people who want to be funny. Improv is for anyone who wants to feel more human. And it's amazing what happens when you are just your authentic self, whether you're sharing a quirk about yourself or a recent failure, because self-deprecating humor is one of the best ways to connect with people and to build trust with them. Whether it's reframing the negative voices in your head and making them silly voices instead. Anyone can do that, right? So it's finding ways to just bring that authentic, real you out using humor tactics and tools.
So where do we make sure we don't cross the boundary of self-deprecation being destructive, right? We're always putting
Mm.
ourselves down, and that message that the brain hears versus self-deprecating to lighten up maybe a tough, right, experience that we're going through. Where is that line, do you think? Because a lot of people say you shouldn't put yourself down in that humor space either.
Yeah, no, that's a great call out because yeah, self judgment is a big is a big piece to this too. Because yeah, we're really hard on ourselves, especially the stories that we and the limited beliefs that we have for so many years. I know I always think self-deprecating humor works great when we're lightly poking fun at ourselves. So you're making fun of the way you laugh or that you texted the wrong person this morning, or you tripped up the stairs, things that will kind of like break that barrier with somebody. When it comes to self-judgment, yeah, we have to be really careful with that, because man, we're good storytellers to ourselves, where we can make ourselves believe anything. So listen, I made myself believe I was broken for a big part of my adult life because of shiny object syndrome, because I felt like every day I had a new hobby, a new interest. So it took a while, right? Like now I feel like I'm in a place because I've built an awareness around that, and now I know I'm not broken. I'm just a curious person, where I feel comfortable making fun of myself. Doing a little humor journaling about something that I may be self-judging myself on kind of unveils taking this finding the ridiculousness of maybe something that we're judging ourselves on, if that makes sense.
It does, for me, and it makes me think about some of the journey I'm on, which is similar to you in this keynote space. And it's the whole, we put ourselves out there on social, right? Like nowadays, everything is fair game. And I used to record things 42 times to get them perfect in order to put it out there because I knew everybody
Yeah.
was watching. And now, which amazes me, Rob, truly, is my so silly. The greatest number of likes I get on a social media post is the most absurd, ridiculous, stupidest thing I could possibly put out that gives no intelligent information, right, or education. And people flock to it. They love it. It is that self-deprecating, and so I keep putting out stupid stuff. And now I've learned, which is great because as much as it's an enjoyment factor, I've now learned how to be okay in my own space, knowing that I didn't put out whatever this perfect product is that I created in my own head it should be. And I think humor really did that for me. And I love the idea that you stand in front of people and share that concept so that we all can get to that space where it's actually okay to look a little ridiculous once in a while. Or maybe all the
Absolutely.
time. I don't know. Maybe all the time is okay.
Can I ask you a question?
You
So as
can.
you were going through that process of, looking at the likes on social media and, thinking about the kinds of content you wanted to make versus what the audience was making, was there a voice in your head that was telling you something? Maybe that was your inner critic speaking up?
Rob, you should be able to read my mind and know that answer. Yeah, always, right? And I think that inner critic is always still going to be there, right? It's about when to listen to it and when to suppress it,
Yeah,
to know how to use it for good and not evil. And I think that's okay. And I'd love your opinion on this. I think in my space, that's okay because you also need to check yourself too, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't want to go so ridiculous that it becomes inappropriate and to the point where then it becomes harmful, right?
exactly.
So how do you feel about that when you're teaching people to use humor, to listen to that inner critic as well, to use it in the right way?
Yeah, I think, well, coming back to the inner critic voice, for me, what really helps is reframing it, right? So I think that's like a harmless approach. Is we have a really serious voice in our heads, and you're right. We should check ourselves sometimes because it could be telling us something that does mean something. But other times, like, how do we take that serious voice and make it sound silly? Kind of take its power away a little bit, because as soon as we can hear it differently in our head, then maybe we can understand the message of what it really is telling us, or find ways to navigate around it. So when I do my comedy keynote and we do this exercise, somebody would share, a voice they had in their head, like, "You're gonna fail, Rob. You're gonna fail." And I say, "Okay, that sounds pretty serious. Like, the way you just said that, I'm convinced that you're probably gonna fail. So let's take that and reframe it. What's a silly voice we can give it? How about like a pirate, right? Like, what would that sound like?" So then it's like, "Arg, Rob, you gonna fail, walk the plank," or whatever it is. And now when we hear that in our heads, the next time that comes up, I kind of hear it like a pirate now. It's like, wait, that sounds kind of ridiculous, right? I'm not going to take that as seriously anymore. I can kind of laugh it off. So I think for me, it's like taking the power away from it, reframing them in a way where it's silly, gives us a different way to hear it and listen to it.
So do you encourage people to actually take that voice and say it out loud to themselves?
Yes. So it's such a fun exercise in the room. It depends on what kind of audience it is. Sometimes I'll single people out to do it, but sometimes we just have a whole bunch of negative thoughts, submitted on the screen, and then together, I'll bring in different environments. Like now we're in a Western, now we're all cute little robots, and you just hear the whole audience kind of repeating these thoughts out loud. But it is an exercise that you can do, right? And it sounds crazy. You don't have to do it in front of people. You don't have to do it out loud. It could just be in your head as well. But yeah, it's helped me, as someone who just loves, I don't know, cartoon voices, and it's helped me take that fear and turn it around.
Okay, so let's take that one step further, because I know that there are people listening that are going, I would never do that. I would never do the voice, whether it's in front of people or even in my own home. They just wouldn't do it. How can we challenge them to say, you can, and you will, and get us to the point where we can monkey around in that world to see how it can help us? How do we get over that hump?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Great question. It's all about we're in our comfort zones, right? And there's a couple of ways I like to look at this. Everyone's like, get out of your comfort zone. Okay, but where do you go? You go into what I call, for me, the Rob zone. But for you, it would be the Cindy zone, right? Like if
Well,
we
I'm
looked
going
at
to go to the Rob zone. I'll go to your zone.
No, it's we all have our own zones, right? Like
Oh, but yours sounds so much fun. Okay, well, I'll let you keep going, but I might pick and choose which zone.
Well, I want to go to the Cindy zone. Let's put some boots on and let's go.
All right.
But I think that's one thing. And then the other one thing I learned in improv is, and this applies when you're with a group, but I think also for yourself. Before we go out on stage, we pat each other on the back and say, I got your back. I got your back. That helps for a couple things. One, it's like, hey, if you mess up anything, doesn't matter. I'm there. I got your back. But I also think it helps when we do that to ourselves. Hey, I got your back. You're going to go do something that feels silly, that feels stupid, but hey, you're safe. You're fine. No matter what happens, I'm here. I got your back, right? So I know it feels silly saying that to yourself, but it's also something to help us feel, hey, we're in a safe place here to experiment, try new things. Because I promise you, you take that step outside of your zone, your Cindy zone, there's magic on the other side of it.
I love that. And as I heard that sentence come out of your mouth, it makes me wonder how much more we need to actually work at this, because I think in the comedic space, when you screw up, it actually is funny, right? like, I mean, even going back to Saturday Night Live, you've seen sometimes people break character to where they're laughing at the routine, and that's funny, when you see people even break character, and is that right or is it wrong? But in, let's say now, the corporate space or this work environment that's so stuffy and regimented and ruled, now that becomes a no-no, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we just take the comedic experience and put it into all aspects of our life, I don't know, maybe we'd be a little more productive and a little bit less anxious, because sometimes when we screw up at work, it really is funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You just hit the nail on the head. And another exercise that I love doing is, we're in brainstorm meetings sometimes, and there's a lot of pressure to have like the best idea, or I'm scared to say the wrong thing or something stupid. I'm going to get judged. So what if we just spent the first 5 minutes sharing the worst ideas ever, right? Take that pressure off. There is no wrong answer. We all yes and each other. And all of a sudden, like you said, when you mess up, or sometimes a bad idea can lead to the best idea, or sometimes a really bad idea is the best idea, just because we're not in our heads thinking.
I love that. You know what? I'm going to use that at my next office meeting.
It's amazing.
Here's a challenge. Give me the worst ideas you have and how we're going to overcome this challenge. Just give them to me.
Yeah.
The absolute worst.
And there is no best worst answer. It's and a great way too. So yes, and is a principle of improv where we're acknowledging and listening to our scene partner by saying yes to it, and then and is when we add information to it. So let's say, Cindy, give me an idea for the worst product ever, or let's say the worst boot. What would be the worst boot ever that you would wear?
Okay, I want to go back to the worst product.
Okay, let's do that.
The worst product on the planet would be toilet paper that doesn't actually wipe you clean.
So I'm going to
And
yes.
what would I do if that was really the case, Rob?
That sounds like a personal problem, but I'm gonna yes and you then. Okay, so I'm gonna say yes.
You're gonna yes and me. I didn't know the rules of this conversation. I was
That's
trying
okay.
to
I didn't tell them to you.
Okay. The worst product on the planet would be toilet paper that doesn't actually work to wipe you clean.
So I'm gonna say yes because I heard you. Toilet paper that doesn't actually wipe you clean, and I'm gonna and it by adding more information, and it's got crossword puzzles that you can solve imprinted on each sheet. And then you're going to yes and that. So I want you to yes that, and you're going to add to it something even worse.
But if you're filling in the blocks on the toilet paper with poop instead of pen, it's not going to be clear to be readable.
Perfect. So all of a sudden we have a product that we can sell. It's the worst.
I'm not sure this is going to make us millions, Rob. I'm not sure.
But that's the idea.
Okay. But I like that because it stimulates thought to come up with something more creative from the first idea, which was actually in this space ridiculous to begin with.
Exactly.
Although if you actually had good bowel movements, you wouldn't need toilet paper to wipe you clean because you'd be clean.
It sounds like you're a doctor.
Right? It's hard to get through a conversation with me without discussing bowel habits, quite frankly.
Hey, I was scared I was gonna be the first one to talk about poop, but I'm glad it was you.
Do you have any poop in your comedy routine? Is there anything in there?
You know what? I have a poop anxiety thing that deals with performing. It's one of my fears is that I'm going to go on stage and perform, and I'm going to have to poop while I'm performing. Every time I perform, it's like an anxiety, like panic thing. Like, what happens if I suddenly have to go to the bathroom while I'm in the middle of a show?
Yes. And Rob, what would you do if that happened?
I would figure it out in the moment. I would, if I'm in an improv scene with multiple people, then I will see myself out. And I come back. If I'm by myself speaking, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out in the moment if that ever happens. But my body has figured it out because I always go minutes before a show starts.
Nice. See, I actually think you have the perfect out because I remember years ago being at a comedy club. It was actually up in Toronto. And, they do that ridiculous thing when somebody gets up to go to the bathroom. Then, of course, there's this is old, so it's not new, but the audio of somebody actually, going and flushing or whatever it is. So instead of it being pre-recorded, you could just lay into the fact that it's real time.
Love it. Bring the audience along.
And why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else would laugh, but I'd be in tears probably if you actually did do that.
It's pretty funny. And, if you have your script memorized,
all right,
just keep going. The show must go on.
Comedy from the toilet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
As long as there's toilet paper, though, that will take care of the business.
Yes. And Rob, if that doesn't help you, you let me know and we will fix your bowels so that when you are traveling all over the world doing your comedy, it comes out clean.
Thank you. Wow. That's exactly why I came on this podcast, for those types of answers.
You know what? Everything happens exactly how it's supposed to.
Agreed.
There is no doubt. Oh my God, you have been an absolute joy. So before we take a quick commercial break and come back from some rapid fire questions that I'm pretty sure you're going to have great answers to, where are you all over the world? How do we find you, see you, watch you? Tell everybody who wants to, hang out with you how they can do that.
Yeah, the best place to find me is on Instagram at Rob Polonsky. I, post my music on there, videos for my performances, my talks. That is the best place. And don't be afraid to message and say hello.
All right, Rob, I'm going to send you a message because I have another little dark secret that I'm going to share with you. I feel very connected to you today. I don't normally reveal all my deep dark.
I love this. This is part of mentalism is I get you to tell me things.
Well, and you know it anyway, so it doesn't really matter, right?
Exactly.
You're in my space already. But I have this little dream that because I've published a book and I have a story that one day Taylor Swift was going to read the book and she was going to write a song about my story. But I think I've changed my mind. I think I would like to challenge you to write the song.
Oh my gosh.
I think I would like you to write the song.
How Okay. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, you went from Taylor Swift to me. There wasn't
Right.
anyone in between that.
No, and here's the beauty. Like, instead of being a Swiftie, I'm a
Yeah.
Polonsky. Like, you already have the
Oh,
right name.
I'm shook. I'm shook right now. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Sign me up. Let's go.
No pressure to do it, but maybe it can be like, when you have 8 minutes of free time and nothing else to do and your anxiety is high, you can say, I'm going to write the Dr. Cindy song to lower your anxiety and feed into that. And then we'll have you back and you can sing the Dr. Cindy lower your anxiety song. What do you think?
I love it. Let's do this for sure.
Okay. And then we can get bat mitzvah again together.
Yay! Let's do
All right.
it. A joint.
Those of you listening, I'm not telling you what that's all about. You're going to have to Google Rob and see what that's all about, or come back to another podcast, because I'd love to have you back and we can go through a whole bar and bat mitzvah together.
I would love that.
And we'll just
Thank
leave that
you.
dangling in the air. All right, everybody, grab something else to drink or get comfortable once again. We're going to be right back after a couple sponsors that are really important to me with Rob Polonsky and some rapid fire questions. This is your weekly dose of Dr. Cindy, the Positively Altered podcast. Stop. Hit that follow button now and spread the love with Positively Altered. We are back with Rob Polonsky and we are shaking out our crazy eights, which is just a way to get going. This is our pre-show warm-up, right? We're shaking it out. For those of you that are listening and can't see us, it looks ridiculous. So, just shake something and we're going to keep going. So Rob, rapid fire questions.
Let's go. Let's do this.
What is your biggest guilty pleasure?
Disneyland. I'm a Disney adult. I love going to Disneyland often, almost weekly.
Weekly?
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure.
Who's your favorite character?
Like, to me?
No. Yeah, at Disney World. Like, who's the big one you got to run up and hug?
Rex, the dinosaur from Toy Story. Nervous Rex. I feel like he's who I am. Because he's like so anxious.
I have to hug Pluto. He's never around at the parks. Where did Pluto go?
He's probably in his little doghouse, just
never
chilling.
There. It's like Mickey, Minnie, and Cinderella, and Pluto just became less important.
They're hiding from you.
Yeah, I'm very upset about that. All right, if you could go back in time, what decade would you live in?
Oh gosh, maybe like, what is 50 years ago? Like,
so
60s, 70s,
the 70s.
I'd want to go back to the early 70s when SNL I think first started. I think not just because of SNL. I think that's just a cool era of comedy.
Nice, 1970. Okay, I lived in 1970, Rob.
I didn't know what to say. I froze.
I
think there's a bad connection here. Maybe I don't know. I think we're having a bad connection.
I was just thinking I'm aging. So like people go back to the 1920s. I'm like, cool, that would be awesome. I've never seen that either. And when you go 1970s, I'm like, I've seen it. Been there.
I mean, I was born in the 80s, so it was probably a bad choice on my end. It was just the first thing I thought of.
There's no bad choices. Choices. All right, the weirdest food combo you like together.
Oh gosh. Something my dad used to do is it's not that weird, but you douse your fries in Parmesan cheese and you like press it into it and then you dip them in ketchup. I guess it's not that weird. Actually sounds really good right now.
I know what you're having for lunch.
100%.
Absolutely. All right. If you could only have 3 apps on your phone forever, what apps would you keep?
Instagram, my phone, so I can continue calling my mom every day. And gosh, the weather, just because it's good to know, because they're great conversation starters with people.
Yeah. Do you have a weather app that's accurate? I don't have one.
It's like, no, I mean, it's the one on the iPhone.
Yeah, it's never right.
It's never right, but at least it gives us something to think about,
It's true. That's
you
true.
know?
All right. So maybe I'll text you a picture of, the sunshine in Chicago that we never have when it's gloomy out.
I'll send you a picture of when it rains in LA.
Perfect. Perfect. If we were going to celebrate a brand new holiday that you created, what would we celebrate?
I would celebrate a new holiday. It would be I like Friendsgiving. I know it's kind of like a thing that happens around Thanksgiving, but I think we should do it separate, like a different time of the year from Friendsgiving or or Thanksgiving. I don't know. I just like when friends get together and they give each other gifts and they make each other food.
Would you rename it?
Friendsapalooza.
Friendsapalooza. I like that.
We should do that.
Friendsapalooza. And we can have a follow-up that's like wait, what is it? Coachella? Friendchella?
Friendchella. Yeah, we could do
Friendchella?
Friendchella.
That sounds like there should be booze involved in that one, right?
Yeah.
Like a fancy liqueur with that one.
Only booze.
Only booze. No food.
No food, and you sleep in a tent together.
Oh, you lost me at tent. Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to tap into that Coachella culture, which
Yeah, you lost me at tent. Hence why I've probably never done that. So yeah. 5-star hotel, I'll come and I'll bring booze.
There you go. I'll probably join you. I'm like glamping,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What is one word, your favorite word, or a word that resonates with you the most?
One word that resonates with me the most. Oh my gosh. It could be any word.
Any word. Could be a made up word.
I mean, shiny object.
Okay.
That's just on my mind a lot right now.
Uh-huh.
I wrote a song about it. It's just shiny object. That's 2 words, but we can combine them if that makes it qualified to be the right answer for this question.
Rob, I am not in charge of the world. You can change the rules as you see.
Yay! All right, good. Shiny object.
Shiny object it is. And lastly, what was your favorite thing about doing the podcast today?
I think just hanging out with you, getting to know you. You have such a fun energy, and you told me at the beginning a dirty secret that you wanted to be a comedian, and I can totally see that. You have such a unique point of view and a fun personality. I would love to see you up on stage. In fact, I challenge you, Dr. Cindy. I challenge you to do either an improv class or to do a stand-up comedy like intro workshop to learn joke structure. I feel like you would excel at it, just using your own unique point of view. It's there.
You are so sweet. Well, I'll tell you what I am going to do. I am going to find out where you are one day, and I am going to comedic bomb you on stage. How about that?
Oh, yes. Let's go.
I'm going to come in. I'm going to excuse you to use the washroom so that you can vacate your bowels. And then I'm going to do my little bit that's completely unprepared. And then I will step off the stage. I'm just going to comedic bomb you. How's that?
It's perfect. And what's going to happen is you're going to win the crowd over. I won't even have to come back on stage because they won't want to see me anymore.
No.
They're just going to want to see you.
Do something together. Nope. We're going to do it together.
We're going to sing the Dr. Cindy song together.
No. Okay. So Rob, here's the other. Okay. Last dirty secret.
You don't sing.
Oh, I can clear out a room in about 6 seconds. And I've actually even taken voice lessons in high school. So when you need everybody to leave the stadium, that's when you bring me on to sing the Dr. Cindy song, and it will be cleared for the next set for everybody else into the show.
Noted.
That's my skill set right there.
Noted. That's a good one to have in your pocket. You never know when you're going to need that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you want to sing us out? Or you're going to sing the end of?
Oh, no, Rob, that is one thing I promise you I will never, ever do. Sing a song.
Okay.
I will tell you, though, that one of my favorite things, again, too, is just the ability to smile and laugh. The joy that you have brought me and hopefully all of the listeners today, I think, is absolutely essential. I love the self-deprecating humor. I love the idea of just enjoying life through humor. And for those of you that struggle, please follow Rob so that you can learn more. And for those of you that are really great at it, follow Rob anyway, because it's just more joy and more entertainment. Rob, you are absolutely just an absolute charm in the world that we need. And I thank you for that.
Thank you so much for saying that. This has been an absolute pleasure and an honor, and I'm glad we got to spend this time together. Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure, and I hope you will come back. So make sure you guys follow Rob Polonsky. That is Polonsky on Instagram. He will provide you that laughter and that content you want, need, or didn't know that you wanted or needed, and he's going to give it to you anyway. For those of you that want to learn a little bit more about what's going in my world, please check me out at drsindyspeaks.com. Shoot us an email at hello@drsindyspeaks.com as well. We love to hear from you. And you can find me on all the usual places as well, Facebook, Instagram. What's the other one? Twitter. It's not Twitter. It's X. I don't even know what it is, but just Google and you will find us. Check out the book, Positively Altered, Finding Happiness at the Bottom of a Chemo Bag. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that Rob and this conversation has left you positively altered.